The PlayStation 4 has become a haven for some of the most content-plentiful games that you can find, and that's not going to be changing anytime soon, and that's what we'll be looking at in today's video. Specifically, 10 upcoming PS4 games you can spend over 100 hours on. Yes, these are games that are going to take up a lot of your time, but offer you a lot of enjoyment at the same time. So without further ado, let's just get right into this. First up, we have Black Desert Online. Now, the PS4 has become more of a place to check out MMORPGs. We have Final Fantasy XIV, we have the Elder Scrolls Online, and one very exciting title that'll be hitting the PS4 sometime in the future is Black Desert Online. Visually, this is one of the most stunning games that you're gonna see. Gameplay-wise, it's great as well. The combat in BDO is action-based, requiring manual aiming similar to those found in third-person shooters. Skills can be activated through use of combos for attacking, dodging, or blocking, and the game offers housing, fishing, farming, and trading, as well as large PvP, siege, and castle battles. There's a lot of depth to BDO's gameplay, and just like any other MMO, spending 100 hours in it is just scratching the surface. You can spend well over that time. Moving on from that, another very exciting multiplayer experience that's coming very soon is Tom Clancy's The Division 2. The Division 1 was one of the most anticipated games early on in this generation, and when it released back in 2016, I think a lot of gamers were rather disappointed by it, but it became a better game as the years went on. That's been the typical Ubisoft MO in recent years, where they'll release a game, it might be okay from the get-go, but then it gets better and better, and that definitely happened with the first Division. Now we have The Division 2, and it looks to really be building upon the first game. Following a lot of the similar premises, however, you will have gigantic raids, and this is going to be yet another game that's going to be constantly updated by Ubisoft, so as far as longevity goes, The Division 2 is definitely going to have that. We don't have to wait much longer to play The Division 2, it'll be out March 15th. Moving on from that, Path of Exile is another very exciting online RPG, and it's another free-to-play title, so no investment required to play this one. And this was a game that was expected to release this month on the PlayStation 4. Unfortunately, it seems to have had some development turmoil. It's already available on PC, it's already available on Xbox One, so we know what we're getting out of Path of Exile, and it's a game that you can invest so much time into. Think something like Diablo. It's a little bit grindy at times, but you can absolutely have a great experience without investing any money into it, and that's really what you want out of a free-to-play game, and Path of Exile has been known as one of those games that, yes, if you are a complete free player, you can still have a rather great time. Hopefully, we see Path of Exile come to the PlayStation 4 sooner rather than later. It's been a little bit disappointing as we've seen a couple of delays. It was originally set to release back in December, but Path of Exile should be out very soon. Moving on from that, another game that's been building in anticipation is Anthem. Anthem is a game that just had its demo. It was open to everyone, and I think that captivated a lot of people in actually checking out the game. Initially, being a BioWare game, considering we saw what BioWare did with Mass Effect Andromeda, and being an online EA game, that's just inherently gonna have a lot of skepticism. But the more that we've seen of Anthem, the more that we've got to play of Anthem, the excitement has just been building. And now we're just a week away from the official release of the game, and it seems like anticipation is at a high. And at this point, if you are on the Xbox One or you are on PC, you're playing the game through Origin Access or EA Access, and all the initial stuff has been rather good. Now, there will be microtransactions in the game, but it'll be exclusive to cosmetic items. I'm not a big fan of microtransactions at all in video games. I've made that pretty vocal at this point, so let's not talk about it too much, but hopefully Anthem is a game that turns out to have quite a bit of longevity to it. I think this is one of the most important EA game releases of all time, just because of the position that they're at right now. Yes, they have Apex Legends, and that'll be a game with some sustaining power, but if you could also release Anthem, a $60 big budget title, you get back on track with these big budget releases, that would do a lot for EA's credibility at this point, and we'll see how it turns out, as Anthem is scheduled for a release on February 22nd. Moving on from that, we have yet another free-to-play game in Dauntless. Dauntless is a game that has been often compared to Monster Hunter. Unfortunately, this was a game that was announced well before the announcement of Monster Hunter World, and prior to the announcement of MH World, there was a lot of anticipation and hype surrounding Dauntless. Unfortunately, after the announcement of MH World, people just flocked towards that game, and Dauntless's hype kind of went by the wayside. However, this is still a game you should have your eyes on. The game itself takes place in a fantasy setting where a cataclysmic event has torn the world apart, releasing monster-like creatures known as behemoths that prey on the surviving humans. You take on the role of slayers to take down behemoths, collecting loot that they use to craft and upgrade weapons and equipment as to take down larger and more powerful behemoths. While hunting, the game plays as a third-person action game. The player uses a combo system to attack the creature while monitoring their own health and stamina gauge. Such hunts can take upwards of 20 minutes of in-game time to complete. and you can play through the game solo, or you can play it cooperatively with up to 4 players. Now, I know for those of you that have played Monster Hunter World, you've sunk a lot of time into this one. Well, Dauntless is gonna be a free-to-play game, so you don't have much risk when you're gonna try the game out, and so far what I've seen of the game has looked rather good. I hope this is one that can still resonate with the gaming community, and we'll see how it does. Hopefully, Dauntless is out in its full state on the PlayStation 4 before the year's up. Moving on from that, we have a game that has really come on my personal radar and a game that I'm so excited for. It is Media Molecule's newest title, In Dreams. We know that Media Molecule is all about creativity. We saw that in full force with Little Big Planet, and that game had an incredible amount of longevity to it just because of the user-created levels. There were so many cool levels, so many interesting ideas thrown around, and that game had a lot of depth to it. Well, Dreams is taking that element of creativity and increasing it tenfold, as Dreams lets you create your own games within the engine of Dreams. Now, initially, when I heard about the premise of Dreams, I was like, this sounds a little bit crazy. I don't know how it's gonna turn out, but already, after we've seen people play around with the beta, you are seeing some incredible projects being put out, whether it be someone recreating the first scenario of Dead Space, somebody's trying to make a very cinematic first-person shooter, somebody wants to do PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale 2 within Dreams. There's a lot of ideas being thrown around in Dreams, and that's just off the beta, and that's just off of people working on it for a little bit of time. There's so much potential with Dreams, and potential is really the word you're gonna hear over and over again with Dreams, because it is up to the players and it is up to us to figure out what to do with it, but the potential is absolutely limitless. So we'll see how far it can go. Dreams should be out before this year's up. Honestly, I'd probably expect it out around May or June. Next up, we have the sequel to Dragon Quest Builders and Dragon Quest Builders 2. Now, if you never played Dragon Quest Builders, when you look at the game, you're immediately gonna think this is Minecraft with a Dragon Quest skin on it, but it's much more than that. It actually has its own story, and it does have a lot of Dragon Quest fan service. However, the gameplay also has quite a bit of depth to it. Dragon Quest Builders 1 was received very well, and now we have Dragon Quest Builders 2, which is adding even more to the fundamentals that the first game set up. It's not the type of game that's gonna be for everyone, but if you enjoyed the first game, DQ Builders 2 is absolutely gonna be up your alley, and it's gonna be another title that you can sink a lot of time into. Moving on from that, we have the newest Torchlight game and Torchlight Frontiers. Now, Torchlight has often been compared to the Diablo games as well. I absolutely love Torchlight 1 and 2. Unfortunately, Torchlight 1 and 2 are not available on the PS4, but Frontiers will be, and it's an action RPG where you control a character in a high fantasy world. From an isometric top-down view, you control the character to move around the game world, hack and slash with a variety of weapons, magic, spells, and skills to fight monsters, collect new items, and treasure. You'll sell and buy items in a centralized town, and you'll improve your character as you continue playing. Very similar to Diablo, but these games are ever so addicting, and it's going to be very easy to sink a lot of time into this one. We still don't have an exact release date for Torchlight Frontiers, but it should be out before 2019's over. Next up, we have the latest expansion of Final Fantasy XIV and Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers. Now, I talk about Final Fantasy XIV pretty frequently. It is incredible to see the turnaround that this game has made. From the original Final Fantasy XIV that was a complete train wreck to A Realm Reborn, and now all of these expansions, the latest expansion, the third one, Shadowbringers, is taking the battle to the Garlean Empire. The game's new expansion is the third expansion in Shadowbringers. It features a new level cap of 80, new dungeons, raids, one being themed around the 2017 Square Enix hit in Nier Automata. That's going to be awesome to check out. You've got new zones, 2 new jobs, and you've got the Gunbreaker tank job, which is going to be awesome to check out, and changes to the battle system. Final Fantasy XIV has just been getting better and better, and the sustainability that this game has seen has been incredible. Also, being a subscription-based MMO, you don't see a lot of those anymore, but FF14 is one that's absolutely worth the money, and Shadowbringers is going to make the experience even better. And lastly, I do want to give a mention to the Legend of Heroes Trails of the Cold Steel games. Now, Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 1, 2, and 3 are being brought over to the PlayStation 4 this year, which is very exciting. Each of these games you can spend 100 hours on. Now, if you rush through the main story, yes, but there's so much side content, there's a lot of hidden collectibles and whatnot that you can invest a lot of time into it. And if you want to play through the entirety of the 3 games that are all being released this year, you are going to be spending a lot of time. Those 3 games don't even encompass the entire franchise. It's encompassed of 4 games. That 4th game just released in Japan back in 2018. I imagine it'll be a little bit before we see that game come over stateside, maybe 2020, maybe 2021, but what we do know is Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 1 and 2 are coming to the PS4 very soon, and Trails of Cold Steel 3 will be brought to the PS4 before the year's out. So a lot of great JRPGs coming with this one, and a lot of time to be sunk into all of those games. And that's gonna conclude this video. Again, if you're just looking for games to sink a lot of time into, there's a lot of options with these games, from Black Desert Online, Tom Clancy The Division 2, too. Games like Anthem, games that are going a little bit under the radar like Dauntless, but I'm still excited for it. A lot of options here, and there are other games that we could have recommended. If you guys have a suggestion for games we should cover that would fit this category, let us know in the comment section down below. That's gonna conclude this video, and if you have any thoughts, of course, put those in the comments. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.